Hello there, this is Ryan from Burley Bricks coming to you live from my obscene Lego room. Today we're doing something a little different. I'm not building a set. Well, I'm not building one that is pre-made. I'm not reviewing one of those either. Today I'm going to be talking about a mock, my own creation, that I built. And this is a part of my city, and it is a work in progress. As you can see, there's no upstairs. Well, there was, but we'll get to that in a minute. And so I basically wanted to talk about what I've been working on. So originally, this mock, which I will have more pictures of on my Instagram, was on a basic 32 by 32 plate. I decided to upgrade that to a 48 by 48 plate, which gave me all this extra room to make a custom road. Whereas before I had pre-made Lego road plates that, while they were nice, sort of dictated how the flow was supposed to be. And it took up a lot of space. And I ultimately decided, you know what, I want to do my own thing. So let's move what I've already made onto bigger plates to accommodate that. So this is a corner piece. And it's one structure, but it's two storefronts. The first one is a record store, and the second one is a health food store. So my aesthetic for my city is sort of like an everyday, like if you went downtown in your local city, I basically made mine after places I've seen in Toronto or Hamilton, Canada, which is where I'm from. And I kind of wanted to do like an older, more rundown part of town that's starting to get a little more gentrified. So there's a used record store here, with some new stuff maybe, and a health food store. So the story is sort of like, they just moved in and there's more trendy people on that side of the city that they're trying to get them to come in to the shop. So that's here and that's here. And there's going to be an upstairs, which I have built, but I built it for the other dimensions for the other plates. So it doesn't quite fit, but I will show you that in a little bit. But it's kind of in disrepair, as is everything in my Lego City. I need to give it a nice facelift, and that's why I'm doing this channel to motivate me to get back into that. So this is the front. There's a little bench here and a garbage can. And well, the garbage can part fell off, as I could say. Everything's in uh, disrepair, and there's a little um, blue box for newspapers. And then you turn it around on this side because it's a corner. It's going to be part of an intersection with other plates, which I will show at some point. And this is the other side. Another bench and a little bus shelter that I built. The bus line, I guess it's going to be blue. And there's little, these are treasure chests bins that I took the tops off, and I'm going to put like fresh produce and stuff like that there. And then this is the back. This is going to be a little alleyway that has, some stinky old rotting produce. There's a rat and there's some garbage here. And this is the back of the record store. So there's old boxes. There's like an old cassette tape and just little things like that. I need to, as you can see here, fix this up. Again, it's still a work in progress. And that's that side. And I wanted to put in some of these brick pieces. I'm not sure if they have an official, I think it's like profile brick or something, but I call them bricks because it's got little brick prints, well, etches in them, just to give the wall a little more texture. This wall is blank because I plan on having it inside or up against another wall, so you won't really get to see that anyway. So that's why I kept this blank. And a lot of modular buildings that Lego releases has like that same sort of aesthetic. And I also put the little hole bricks here to click them into each other. That's how Lego does it too. But unlike the Lego ones, I like to raise if you can see right where my finger is, I like to raise the plate up a little bit by putting down a layer of like 2 by 2 bricks just to give it some structure. Because I find when they get really heavy, when you lift the plates up, they kind of curve. So I just want to make it a little more structural sound so it doesn't break. So that's the exterior. And now the interior. I am going to take this off and try not to show my messy room, but this is the interior. Now, again, it's still a work in progress, but in here, I this is sort of to look like almost like milk crates, and I want to put some records in there, and I actually have a whole big bag of video pieces, the little clip beat boxes like this to put in these. But I took them all out because they were sort of spilling all over the place. Um, and just like other instruments that I've collected, and over here, it's a little bit of a tight space, but this is sort of based on a place in Hamilton, Ontario called Cheapies that sort of has this like bee themed um, aesthetic, and I just really like that. And there's a little area underneath here, which is stairs that you can purchase your records and things. And then there's a stairwell there, and then there's another stairwell, and now we're coming into the health food store. And again, I'm going to put some fresh produce and things in there, but there's a little frozen section here and here. Feel like a doctor performing an operation. And then all these bins are empty, but they're going to have some fresh produce and some water. And it's very, I wanted to use a lot of white because I wanted it to look very clean. I wanted it to look very, you know, sterile. This is going to stay properly now. But anyway, so that is the ground floor of my record store, my health food store, and then so this is the upstairs. But as you can see, it's falling apart. So this is the old um, style from the old build. So I need to make it a little wider now. It's a work in progress, but basically, this is the above the record store. This is going to be a comic book shop. So, which is really exciting because I collect a lot of, well, I don't necessarily collect them on purpose, but I buy a lot of like Star Wars sets and Batman sets and things like that, where I'm not the biggest fan of those IPs. Don't come for me in the comments. But I buy them for interesting pieces. And then, of course, I end up with Batman. I end up with Stormtrooper helmets and things like that. So I wanted to kind of put them in my shop, which I'll show you in a second. And then on the other side is like an animal rescue, or like, like a little veterinarian that's above the health food shop. So they're separate. There's like a divider down the middle here. But they're, what I'm trying to get across in my city aesthetic is when you're in a city downtown or where have you, you'll see like these really old buildings that have like really interesting architecture that have been there for, you know, decades and decades and maybe even a century, old Victorian buildings that over time have, become different stores, different stores, different stores. And so the ground floor is always remodeled. There's glass, there's nice big signs, but then the upstairs have these beautiful architecture of the original building, how it was originally built. Maybe you'll see like a date or something like that, but they just keep redoing the insides, repainting, fitting a store in around the structure itself. And that's what I love about architecture. That's what I love when I would walk up and down like Yonge Street in Toronto is just looking at the second floors, the third floors, and just seeing like history. Like history is just right there if you just look up. And that's what I'm trying to get across in my designs. Now, you can see it's falling apart. So I have to completely rip this apart and redo it. But it's still really interesting. And again, I will show you. Try not to show my messy room. Uh, this is the inside of the comic book store. Some of these have come off because I ended up rebuilding, Batman. But basically, comics, again, these beat clips from videos I can use, but these are also some stuff that came in like DC Girls. There's a Batgirl comic there that I thought was just so beautiful. And then there's like these little racks of comics. There's a R2D2 that I thought, if you go into comic book shops like the Silver Snail in Toronto, like they have a lot of like memorabilia from movies and just posters. And I used like a Brickhead poster. And then this is actually from a Batgirl Brickhead. They always have a print, so I want to do a stack of prints. I have a bunch of them from comic books. Um, but yeah, it needs a little more TLC. But again, I'm gonna be redoing this entire thing. So, and then over here, it's like a little waiting area for your pet, and then these are going to be little veterinarian rooms. And then above that, I'm planning on doing like little apartments uh, that are kind of like run down and things like that. So yeah, that's a little tour of one little piece of my city. My city is basically 5 by 2 of these 48 by 48. So this is just one little corner. Um, but anyway, thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments if you also have a building like this, if you do like a record shop builds or comic builds, or what kind of buildings do you put in your personal city? Or do you just like to build the modulars? Just let me know. And let me know if you have any like, suggestions on some things. And oh, what's that? I think that's Captain America. I think had been looking for that piece. Anyway, I'll figure it out. And thank you for watching.